What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another solo DMZ video. In today's video I will be acquiring a Building 21 access keycard. And if you don't know what Building 21 is, Building 21 is a separate area from Al Mazrah, and the only way to get into Building 21 is if you get one of these keycards, which is in Al Mazrah. So I don't know if you noticed, when you click on DMZ it gives you the option for Al Mazrah or Building 21. The only way to get into Building 21 is if you actually get one of these keycards in Al Mazrah. So that's what we're going to be doing today. And we actually have a decent spawn point at the airport. I don't know if you know this, but airport actually has quite a few orange crates right off the rip. And orange crates is actually a good way of actually getting one of these key cards. I noticed that it's actually a lower chance compared to getting them in supply drops. Supply drops was probably the best way of actually getting them, but orange crates do have key cards in them, so be mindful of that. So we're just gonna look around the airport and see if we can see any orange crates. Usually there's some on the bottom here, just depending on the spawns, but it's pretty much carry off of that. You can also get them in safes. You can get them by killing commanders. You can get them at SAM sites, because a SAM site will shoot down a plane and usually it will drop a supply drop. But in my personal experience, SAM sites and getting those 3 supply drops that come towards the end, I don't know if you guys noticed that it will say like 3 supply drops incoming. Those are also good to get the key cards in. I've actually gotten all my key cards in supply drops, so I'm a little bit biased, I guess you could say, or just from my personal experience, that was just how I got all of mine. Now, if you actually already tried this already, they have red, yellow, and blue access cards. So if you've already tried this and you have those cards, those are useful in the actual Building 21. I'm going to be honest with you, those cards are actually pretty easy to get in Building 21, so I wouldn't worry about those too much. I would say definitely extract with them if you have them, and definitely keep them, but like I said, those aren't as important as actually getting the actual access to the Building 21 card. So I'm actually going to skip forward in this video to where I can show you my strategy on how I actually got this card, and we're going to go from there. So pretty much after looting the starting area and getting all the orange crates, depending on where you spawn, I actually had a good spawn point here. We're going to go to this missile, and this missile is going to be a SAM site. I didn't really feel like boring you guys to death with me just looting orange crates and killing bots, but yeah, we're just going to go from here. And this helicopter, I think that actually might be an enemy. I think it is. Actually, I don't know, he's flying kind of wonky. Anyway, we're just going to cross here 150 meters. I think there's actually a spawn point for players over here, so just going to be careful. I noticed a lot of people have been more active now since Building 21 cards are actually in the game. I've been running into 1 million players lately. But we're just going to come over here and we're going to capture this. And there is going to be a few bots, so we're just going to put down a precision airstrike that we got out of one of them orange crates back there. And we're going to wait for it to do its business. Yeah, so pretty much off the rip, I usually just go straight to a SAM site, because nobody really goes to SAM sites off the rip. Players are pretty much doing their own contracts, and they'll leave you alone majority of the time, unless they're trying to get a key card themselves. They may come to a SAM site, but pretty much the faster you do this, the better. Playing solo, that's kind of how you have to play. You don't want to exfil at the last minute, because you're probably going to be fighting a team, unless you have like an LTV, which you got to be pretty skillful to use that to take out an entire team. Still possible, but like I said, it's a lot easier just to do everything that you can early. So still got about 20 minutes left, and we're just going to take most of these bots out. And once you actually capture this, you can go and capture another one. That's usually what I do. I try to capture at least 1 or 2. And if other players are capturing a SAM site, you can actually take their supply drop too. So it's a little bit more risky, because after they capture it, they're probably going to go straight to that supply drop that has been dropped. So I've actually done that a couple times, where I've actually taken somebody's supply drop. It will say SAM site captured on the map, and I just ran straight to their supply drop and I beat them to it, and I took it and I pretty much ran off. So you can do it that way too. If you've seen a SAM site and if you see a random supply drop on the ground, that's probably somebody else's. A little bit more riskier, but like I said, the reward can pay off. So pretty much what we're going to do now is we're going to try to find a vehicle, and we're going to go try to capture another SAM site, because we've already captured this one. Alright, so this is the second SAM site that we're actually going to capture, and we're just going to go straight to it. Pretty simple and easy. Just going to get a vehicle, and we are going to drive there. And I don't know if you guys noticed, you don't really need a 3-plate armor. Like, you literally could just go in with no guns and just 1 plate if you really wanted to. Like I said, if you run into a team though, it could get a little bit tricky. You can either decide to avoid them, or yeah, I don't really know if you want to fight a team with just 1 plate. But that's totally up to you. Like I said, people are crazy, so you can do whatever you want. Personally me, I would just worry about the bots and trying to capture as many SAM sites as possible, like I'm doing here. And we're actually gonna hop up here and we're going to capture the SAM site. So like I said, you already saw me capture the one. And I would recommend like a gun like the Mini Bach. This is one of my favorite guns in the game because it has a decent amount of ammo. You don't need that many attachments for it really. And if you find a contraband gun of it, we recommend picking it up because it actually is a really good gun to use. Like I said, you can take out a lot of bots with this thing. I'll actually put a class at the end so you guys can get my personal insured class that I used. That's what I was using in my previous runs. And as we're shooting this helicopter here, the bot's just spawning all right in front of me. So I'm just gonna shoot them. Got a decent amount of ammo in this thing. Not anymore, obviously, because I only have about 30 bullets left. So gonna heal up and maybe try to find some ammo real quick on the ground. No ammo, but we did get some armor plates, so that helps a little bit. Luckily we have the TAC M. It's usually a one shot for bots too. SAM site captured. So now we have a total of 2 SAM sites captured, and pretty much we're just waiting for these supply drops to drop and waiting for the SAM site to actually shoot down a plane so we can actually go get one of these supply drops. And before we actually do anything else, I'm actually going to run over to this buy station and get an ammunitions box so we have some ammo for the next spot that we head to. We're just going to head over to the buy station. Got about 1,800 in cash, and we're just going to buy some ammo. Alright, so we have our ammo box, and now we should be good to go. And another pretty good loot spot is the train. The train actually has a bunch of orange crates on there. So if you spawn right off the rip, that's usually the best way to get all of the crates on the train. If you see it later in the game, it's not really worth it to go on it, but you can get all the extra stuff that people may have left on there. As we come across the train up here, maybe try to get on it if we can. And of course my car actually just got shot, so looks like we won't be heading on the train. But like I said, if you do see the train, definitely hop on it just to check everything out, see if there's armor plates on it. You never know. I've actually gotten some pretty good loot just by looting it after players have been on it, because they probably already had a 3 armor plate or a large backpack already, so they'll just leave it on there, and players tend to miss that. So definitely go on there and loot all that stuff. So we actually got our first supply drop that actually dropped from our SAM site. So what we're going to do here is we're going to look on the map and we're going to look for the supply drop. It's usually a little white box missile on it, and if you get it fast enough, they're usually still floating in the air or coming down, so you should have enough time to actually go and get them. And then there's also that little sign that just popped up, supply drop incoming. Those are the 3 supply drops that will come at the end of the game, but we're not going to worry about those now. We're just going to focus on the one that already dropped. And another thing is too, when you're actually opening these supply drops, if you're using prioritize interact, you actually have to change your settings to tap reload to actually open it, because you have to hold down the square button. Just be ready for that. It is kind of tedious because you have to continually change your controller settings. I do it, I change it every time. Some people just keep it on because they're just tired of doing it. It's just a bug. Hopefully they fix it soon, but it's really annoying. So I'll show you when I come up to the supply drop as I land this helicopter here. But I'm pretty much just gonna land this thing here. Hopefully there's a key card in here. Hopefully. And I'm gonna show you guys what I was talking about. See how you have to hold down the square button. So if you're using prioritize interact, make sure that you change the setting or you won't be able to open the supply drop. So if you weren't able to open supply drops before, that's why. You have to change your settings. And we got a building 21 key card in there. So what we're actually gonna do is we're gonna hop back in this helicopter, and then we're gonna try to find an exfil spot. There's only 10 minutes left in the game, so this is actually super early in the game. Usually you'd have to go and get those 3 supply drops up at the top too if you don't get it right off the bat, or try to find another supply drop from one of your SAM sites that actually shot down a plane. But yeah, if you definitely find a helicopter, it makes everything so much easier, because then you can just fly to all the supply drops once they drop, and you're probably going to beat everybody to it because they're going to be in cars. So you can just fly around and get the supply drops. Definitely use the helicopter to your advantage, and it will make things so much easier, especially as being a solo DMZ player. The helicopter is one of your best friends. So what we're going to do now is we're going to call in the exfil, and we're just going to fly around in the plane until it comes. I don't really want to have to deal with players or anything, so we're just going to fly around in the air. And as you can see, I'm just double checking to make sure I have the key card with me. There's been a couple times where I've actually missed picking it up, and that sucked, because the worst thing that you can do is when you exfil and you don't have the key card. That would be terrible. Terrible feeling. But yeah, we're just going to fly in the air. And another thing is too, if you don't have a helicopter, which majority of the time you probably won't, I would recommend getting an LTV, or maybe stocking up on cash if you have it, and just driving that around. Players tend to be really afraid of LTVs because they think a full team is with them. And there's a lot of bots over here. Majority of the time you'll probably get like mortar strikes and precision airstrikes in the supply drop, so definitely keep those with you, because that's going to help you when you exfil. Because then you can usually put the mortar strike on the exfil spot if you need to use it, if possible. As you can see in my inventory, I have a mortar strike with me, and the game's starting to lag a little bit, but it's alright. I'm going to use it to our advantage and just run to the helicopter. I'm going to hop in here. Game's still lagging a little bit, but that's okay. We got 3 seconds. Take out some of these bots. Use that mortar strike, why not? Probably should have kept it, to be honest, so I can use it on my next trip, but as you can see, we have the DRC Building 21 access card. That will be the entry to get into the Building 21. And like I said, just go after supply drops, do same sites. You should eventually get one of these key cards to drop for you. So, I hope this helped you guys. I'm going to leave a class at the end, the mini bot class. It's actually really good. I actually made it myself, so I'm going to put that at the end if you guys want to use that for your solo runs. And here's the mini bot class, and we are going to start off with the Bach 9 279mm barrel. And here's the tuning for that. And then this is the tuning for the X10 RR40. And then the laser doesn't have tuning. And then we are going to do the stock, which it's the Otrizat stock. Here's the tuning for that. And for the last attachment, we have the True Tack grip for the rear grip. And that is the tuning. And then this is what I used. I used Stim, Semtex, and Munitions box. And that is actually going to be the video. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more DMZ solo content. And I will see you guys next time.